If you are selling your house or considering selling your home, I'm going to highly suggest that you do these few things to get top dollar for your property. And more than likely will fetch a higher price and will go under quickly. And you certainly don't want these to come up on a home inspection report. So let's get into it. My name is Audra Lambert, and I am one of the top selling realtors in good old Orange County, California. Today is October 27th, 2024. And the reason why I even give you that date is because the market is frozen right now. Nothing's moving. The days on market calculation, meaning how long a home sits on the market before it goes under contract, is 2 to 3 times higher than it was in previous years. I share that with you because right now, when the offers are coming in from these buyers, the buyers are in the driver's seat. They're getting a lot more of their demands and requests granted because there's not as much buyer demand out there. So when I am going through this list with you, I'm going to highly suggest that you fix and repair or invest in some of these improvements because more than likely your buyers will request it. And buyers always, and I mean always, overestimate the cost of repair. And also, you want to get these repairs or modifications or adjustments made on your property so you don't have a really comprehensive repair request and you don't want to leave money on the table. All right? So let's get into it. Most buyers hate the word leak, especially water leaks. This is a no. We don't want this ever to show up on any home inspection, all right? So what I want you to do as a homeowner is I want you to go around to every single one of your sinks and take a magnifying glass, and I'm not exaggerating, and look to see if there's any corrosion. If there's even a slight corrosion on your faucet fixtures or underneath, the home inspector may call out a slight water leak. So you're going to want that repaired. It's not costly to do. But when your buyer sees something like that on a report, they're going to be like, oh, wow, if there's a leak here, where are there other leaks? Was this property well maintained? So make sure there are no leaky faucets or any leaking under the sink. And I mean no leaks anywhere in your house. The laundry room sink, the barbecue bar sink. In fact, those hose bibs, when you turn the water on, those things shouldn't leak. No leaks. All right. Get to it. All right, here's another one that comes up that's kind of a plumbing issue, and I don't know what it is, but home buyers just love to put this on a repair request, and they're adamant about it. And that is that stinking shower diverter, right? So you pull up the shower, goes from the bathtub to the shower, and then there's water coming out, slight amounts of water out of the nozzle for the bathtub. Every home inspector, I swear, they love naming that thing on a home inspection. So if your shower diverter does that and it's not operating properly, more than likely the home inspector is going to scare them and say, oh, you got to take out all the tiles and do all this stuff. It's not that big of a deal to repair. Please go check your shower diverters. Get those things repaired in advance. I know this is a minor thing, but trust me, you'll thank me later. It'll save you a lot of time, energy, and hassle. Just the word shower diverter, people are like, ooh, that sounds like a pretty elaborate mechanism. It's not. It's super basic. Just fix it. Okay, let's talk water heaters, okay? They need to work. They should be relatively clean, and they should be up to code. You should have a pan underneath those traditional water heaters. They should be strapped properly, at least in California, and they should have a sediment trap. If they don't, you guys should do something to make sure it's up to code, okay? It's super important, and the dang thing better work. Now, a lot of you are like, yeah, mine's not working. I need to replace it. So I want to replace it with a tankless water heater so it gives us more room in the garage. Capital H-A-T-E, tankless water heaters. And if you guys love them, that's fine. I've lived with 2 of them. I swear I will never, ever, ever have a tankless water heater for a lot of reasons. First of all, I don't think they heat up very quickly. The most important reason why I don't love it is because you have to descale it every year. You're like, what's that? I really honestly don't know, but they got to have somebody professional come out and clean it up, the descale. I don't even know. Just Google it. It's costly. It's a pain in the neck. And when I go to sell people's homes that have tankless water heaters, I ask them, so did you get your tankless water heater descaled? And they're like, what are you talking about? What's descaling the water heater? Tankless water heater. It's a maintenance issue. I hate it. My water heater now, I've lived here for 7 years. I don't even look at it, okay? I don't have to do anything to it. But if you do have a water heater, a traditional one, you probably should drain it, I think, every 2 years to get all the sediment at the bottom out. I don't do it. I don't have time. A tankless water heater is very fussy, and you have to make sure you descale it. So if you are looking to replace your water heater, stick with the traditional ones, just my opinion. I love those things. I really hate tankless water heaters. All right. Let's move on. So let's talk electrical. Your electrical on your property needs to be up to code and functioning properly. Super important, okay? Don't ignore this. And if you don't know, just hire an electrician to come and do kind of an inspection of your home. But all your light bulbs should be functioning on the property. If your light bulbs are out, the home inspector will call it inoperable, and your buyers are allergic to the word inoperable. So go change your light bulbs out, and I'm going to recommend that you replace those bulbs with LED. Okay, everybody knows that LED is the way to go. They're a little bit more expensive, but be real careful on the bulb color that you select. Do not do the daylight option. So at Home Depot, they have this one called daylight. Oh my gosh, it's awful. Do not. They shouldn't even make that. Only for maybe a dentist's office or a surgical room. But you want to go with the warm white. You want everything to be bright but warm, not too cool. Okay, warm white, warm. Not bright, cool daylight. Okay, thank me later for that. If your lighting fixtures are old, especially those boob lights, get rid of them. You can buy some reasonable light fixtures at Home Depot. You can find them online. IKEA, actually, believe it or not, has some really cute light fixtures. But you don't want to leave money on the table because your light fixtures are really dated. For those of you who have higher-end homes and already have can lights in your home, but they're the dated kind, I would probably suggest that you do the more streamlined version. It's not that expensive, and it really does make an impact when you're taking those pictures and viewing the home. This literally came up on the last 7 home inspections that I performed for my own sellers. And I don't know why this is coming up, but more than likely you have the same issue. And that is your control electrical box, right? Where those circuit breakers are. They need to be properly named. Like this circuit breaker goes to the living room. It has to be written with a Sharpie pen or a sticker. A home inspector will call that out. Your buyers will always request to have that done. So better to have that done ahead of time. And when the home inspector sees that it's all properly labeled and it's nice and fresh and neat, it's going to give kind of the impression that the house has been maintained extremely well, even to the detail that the control panel is actually labeled correctly. And if you don't know, just lie, just put it, I'm kidding. But every single circuit breaker in that panel should be named as to where it goes to. All right, since we're on electrical, we also need to pay attention to this as well. All your outlets on your property should be grounded. If you don't know what that is, you should probably have an electrician come out and test, okay? They need to be grounded. The other thing is all the electrical outlets on your property should work. This happens a lot where, okay, you hit this button or this switch, and then it works. But if you go to the one on the other side, you hit it, it doesn't work. It's really weird how that works. You need to have all that properly working. Everything should function properly. And those outlet switches, if they're dated, the up and down ones, and you can see it's been painted a million times, it gives the impression that the house hasn't been updated properly. And if you want to make an investment, an improvement in your house, this isn't a tremendous investment, but it does go a long way. So if your outlets are looking a little dated, and they're that orangey, I should say not orangey, yellowy, type of cover plates, you might want to replace those as well. Now, one of the less expensive improvements you can make on your home with the biggest buck is painting. And I love the color white, and I know I promised you that I'm going to do a whole video on paint. We're about 2 weeks away from that. I just got to get some website stuff working properly. It's a long story, but I promise to get you that paint video. But where I see a lot of sellers making mistakes is they try to cut corners by doing the paint themselves. And there's nothing worse that when you walk into a property and you realize there's been a really sloppy, messy job done by either the homeowner or perhaps a homeowner hired a kid down the street to do it. If you're going to paint your house and you're going to make the investment in doing it, by the way, paint is a lot more expensive than it has been in the last few years. So paint costs are up. If you're going to paint your house, please hire a professional if you're going to do it, because it will make a difference. And if you have a sloppy job, all the buyer's going to do is come in there and think they have to repaint it. Now, a lot of you have reached out to me saying, oh, my house and my paint, it's all perfect. I just need to do some touch-ups. It should be just fine. And you could be right, but be careful because what'll happen over the years is that your paint will lighten up just based on sun exposure or just lighten up just based on environmental factors. But more importantly, even if your paint is the same color, oftentimes the sheen differs. So let's say you have eggshell and you go get the paint out and you go match up the same paint and you'll notice like, wait, why is that sheen different? It's because the sheen will also oxidize or it won't match perfectly when you put it on. So when your buyer comes in and they walk in just the right angle, they'll look at a wall and it'll have like all these different sheens on it because you touched it up. So if you are one of those people that have that issue, I would suggest you just paint the whole house. I know it's expensive. I get it. But in my opinion, it is an inexpensive investment considering the return that you may get from painting your house the proper color. And of course, I'm always going to recommend a light color. And my 3 favorite paint colors, Dunn Edwards, Swiss Coffee. I love Benjamin Moore's White Dove. And of course, the other one is Dunn Edward Whisper. Those are all really bright whites. And a lot of you are like, oh, you got to paint a wall and you got to test it before to see if you like it. I promise you're not going to like it because it's different. Just paint it white. You're selling your house. Don't overthink it. Now, if you are painting your house, I had a lot of you reach out to me asking me what kind of sheen would I recommend for painting your home. I would always go towards the matte. So eggshell, matte, the velvet are all good options. Anything with high gloss, I'm going to tell you to avoid. It just looks kind of cheap. And I know a lot of you want to paint those baseboards kind of shiny because you're going to wipe it down. Remember, we're going for a look. And when I walk into a house and I see really shiny baseboards or a really shiny bathroom because they use the high gloss, it just kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies. So remember, you're selling your home. You want to use sheens that are more matte, not high gloss. So flooring is a big deal. I'm first going to recommend that you replace or restore or try to fix what you already have in place. We are in a correcting market right now. You don't want to put a huge investment if you don't have to. But I see a lot of these homeowners that have, let's say, wood floors or engineered wood floors, and there's scratches and stains, and there's a lot that you can do with it, right? Clean it up. Or if you have tile, why are those grout lines not clean? So if you do have floors that you can work with and you don't want to make the investment, at least make sure that they're functioning properly, okay? No cracks, no stains. If the boards are starting to buckle, like get those things repaired before you put your house on the market. For those of you who have carpet, what do, right? Well, if it's junky carpet or carpet that's been worn or the dogs have or cats have like dug holes in the carpet, you're going to want to replace it. I'm telling you right now, carpet's not trending. So you could do one of 2 things. You can replace it with low pile carpet. I did do a whole video on flooring. I will link it in the description box below. I'll link it right here as well. I highly suggest that you watch that video. But right now, that hard surface flooring is really trending. So it really depends on what your competition is putting in their home. So if you're in a very high-end neighborhood, then you're probably not going to want to replace that carpet with cheap carpet, right? Or if you're in a lower-end neighborhood and, putting those hardwood floors in probably wouldn't make a lot of sense either. But your flooring should be in good condition. And if your carpet is in good condition and all it needs is a little shampoo, then perhaps you leave it. I'm not suggesting that you throw a whole bunch of money into your homes right now based on where the market is going right now, because the negotiations are fierce and buyers are demanding more. Most buyers want to buy a house that they can move right into, okay? They don't want to have to do all these repairs. So maybe your house isn't the trendiest or the coolest or the most upgraded, but it can be well maintained. And that's what I'm really encouraging everybody who's watching this video to do, is just make sure your house is in good working order. If it's not, your buyers are going to grind you down so hard and you're going to potentially leave a lot of money on the table. This comes up so often, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but I'm just going to shoot it to you straight. And that is, if you have a patio cover or a wood deck that has dry rot or that has termite damage, and it's so severe that you have to replace the majority of it, I'm going to recommend you just tear it out. I know that sounds harsh, but your buyer is going to come in and expect it to be in perfect condition, and it may not be worth doing, if you know what I mean. But if you tear the whole dang thing out, they can't ask for repair for something that's not there. Now, if you do have a beautiful view or the patio cover really highlights something, then of course, maybe you make that investment. I would talk to one of your trusted realtors out there to see if they would agree with you. But I just bought an investment property a year ago, And I just didn't want to replace the patio cover. It was like $15,000 to do. I fooey on that. So I just tore the whole thing down and stuck the wood in the dump, and I no longer have a problem anymore, and my maintenance costs just went down. Something to consider if you are one of these homeowners that is struggling with what decision to make. I don't know. I say just tear it down. A lot of you are planning to put your house on the market in springtime. This is a perfect opportunity for you to start interviewing some realtors, ask their opinion on what kind of upgrades or maintenance items they would recommend. Every area is different. A lot of you know that I have a referral program. My referral manager's name is Diana. I will link down below a link that you can fill out. We'd be happy to have you interview some of our agents. Always a good idea to start the process early. So that realtor that you choose should tell you what's going on in their market, what's going on in your zip code, what's going on in your metro area. They should be able to tell you what's customary or not customary. The biggest mistake that I see homeowners making is that they bring the realtor in like a week before their house goes on the market, and it's rush, 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 rush. I'm going to suggest everyone watching this video that if you are planning on putting your house on the market, to start meeting with those realtors earlier on. Use them as a resource, partner with them. Right now, I'm talking to a lot of home sellers right now that want to put their house on the market in spring. I'm like, great, let's get your house done ahead of time, and let's take our time in scheduling when to take those photos. Because what'll happen is the home seller will be like, oh, man, I'm going to put my house on the market. I need to put it on the market in a week. And then it's bad weather and we got horrible photos. So take your time. Make sure you start interviewing those agents now and find the right one. And once again, contact Diana. She's fantastic. Links down below. We've served a lot of people, a lot of followers, really doing a service for a lot of you out there that are trying to find high quality realtors. We're happy to help. And you don't pay a penny for it. All right, you know what to do. Please subscribe to my channel, smash the like button. I appreciate you supporting my channel. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.